Good day, Jayashri. Hi, Gwan, Gangashri. So, thank you for agreeing to have this conversation with me today. I really appreciate and honor you for always being there to help shed light into some problems that really matters to me. So, here in Sweden, these days I'm learning some new things. Let's say specifically a subject called institutional analysis. And in that, me and a few of my colleagues, we were doing a small assignment of doing an institutional analysis to a problem that we consider as important. And also, the expectation of that assignment was to create a idea for a social movement to solve the problem that we consider as important. So one of the biggest problems that Sweden is experiencing at present is mental health problem. I think it is the real pandemic all around the world. Maybe in countries like Sri Lanka and in our region as well, it is a problem. But maybe our social system and our institutions are and society fundamentally designed in a way that society take care of each other in a way that these issues are not necessarily a problem to be handled as a national problem. I think one way or the other, as developing nation, we are still doing something right. I don't know what it is, but seems like there's something right about it. But having said that, this country is going through this is a massive problem. Also, it is a massive business. Of course, when there's a massive problem, this is a massive business. Someone is making money out of that problem, which is normal because one must go out there and solve the problem. Some market mechanism will be created to solve the problem one way or the other, right? That is how things are organized in a world where money is the basis of creation of life on earth. Um, Whether it's a good thing or not, that is what we are. We have to accept it, and we have to accept certain stuff as it is, and then learn how to be creative as human beings to solve the problem. So the specific problem that we focused in this assignment was to talk about this dark truth, hidden truth, the dark side of the residential care homes, or what they call as residential care homes, like rehabilitation centers, let's say. In our countries, we call them rehabilitation centers for the troubled youth. So, of course, there are different variations of these rehabilitation centers or care homes for children and young adults and youth with behavioral issues, let's say drug addictions to criminal behaviors to other social issues like, let's say, immigrants coming here, then being abused by their family or people in the caregiving environments. So they need help. So usually by force, without the volunteering. Without the consent of the child, usually they are being forced to put into these care homes, and they need help. So the problem that we wanted to discuss and suggest a solution was this: care homes are like making a lot of money because government is paying for these services, and so the care homes are basically going through the procurement process, the tendering process. They present their treatment solution, and they get selected. Then they get these troubled children or youth into their care homes, and they go through this healing therapy or transformational process to become functional, normal human beings. Now, in that process, however, there's something bad happening. The very system that's supposed to do good to the so-called bad children are not necessarily coming out as good adults. Or the problem is still there. They have the tendency of going back to their old ways. So seems like irrespective of the fact that these care homes are now in the competitive market mechanism, it doesn't seem to be solving the problem. They seem to offer the therapeutic treatments, seems to demonstrate that they are competent in handling it. But do we see the results that we desire to see? So this is our problem, and this is what exactly I wanted to discuss with you initially, and then of course, as a person who have been working with children and definitely adults, and a person who really believe in uh, future generations and parenting and the importance of parenting. And I consider you as a very important person to talk about this topic. Me having many other experts on this subject in my contact list. Why I consider this, I must today openly state this. If I have never expressed this to you in person, I'm sorry about that. But at least today, it's never too late to express this, because I remember you are the first person who enlightened me about this idea, which I would have known, but you were the one who shed the light to this idea. You said, Jay, do you know what is the ultimate product humanity can create? Like, what is the ultimate product, the best product? Is it technological stuff or these gadgets? What is the ultimate best product a human being or humanity can create? You said it's a child. I still remember that day, and and without giving you due respect for that statement or that thought process, I have shared that idea with so many people, and and it is the truth, but no one is openly talking about it. At least yesterday I met another wonderful father here, and along with his daughter, who was very proud of her daughter's performance. Of course, I saw a very nice chemistry between them too. And so I'm actually meeting these so-called good parents here. So things are not that bad. So we have hope. So thank you for joining with me today. And I hope to continue this conversation uh, in the future as well, hopefully adding value to life, which is our vision of Mind Designs International, which we established in 2008. And you joined hands with me in 2010. So I'm so grateful that we are together continuing on this vision. So in a moment, I will ask you a few questions to start off with.
The first set of questions I had was like about care homes. And like I was thinking, okay, other than care homes, like there are children who are living at their home with their parents, being guided by them or provided by the parents, and then bunch of them might have to go to care homes in their mechanism. The question I had two questions about it. First one was, uh, have there ever been criminality, white collar and blue collar criminality with the children as when they become adults who grew up only in a house? And what about the care homes? Is there a difference in the percentage? Like care home children who have gone into care homes, are they tend to be more towards becoming criminals, unproductive? When I say criminals, what I mean is unproductive member of society, like they are harming to society. And the second question is, it's related to that, the percentage of children that are extremely productive members of the society, who may be creating new ventures, teach other people, and becoming really high functional members of the society. Like, is it higher when they are like this these care homes happen to help them to be that? So that's
Mhm.
one part of the questions I had. So this comes from the reason I asked that was, when I was having a chat with my sister, I realized not only my sister but all teachers are assessed by how many students get a score above 40 or 45. So all teachers work very hard to make sure their W students, weak students, get past that point. So then I asked two teachers, my sister and my cousin sister, do you know how to move a student who is 85 to 100? Anybody who is at 85, this is no longer a studying problem.
Mm.
This guy knows, this person knows. There's no reason they don't have 100. Like, studying more is not the solution. They do other things wrong. Like they may panic, there may be anxiety.
Yeah.
They may have memory thing, like, okay, I
Yeah.
can't recall everything. So that
Yeah.
student need entirely different set of help than the student
Yeah.
who is. So, and these teachers don't know what to do because they are not assessed based on that. So when we
That's
assess
right.
an organization, we need to assess from both extremes. How much are you failing and how much are you succeeding? Are you giving, can you do better than a regular house? Are you doing worse than a regular house? So that is where my question is coming from, that part. And secondly, I think the problem has two parts to it. One, how adults and parents and elders interact with children, because children learn to live in a society based on what they see. Like, that's how they learn to parent, that's how they learn to talk to each other, that's how we learn language, that's how we learn social etiquette, that's how we learn good and bad. Like, we observe other people. And then as when we become adults, we also have responsibility to pass it on. But do we know how to pass it on properly? And sometimes we might engage in an activity that children don't understand it now, so that needs to be explained to them. So this is parenting, ability to parent it, teach them right and wrong, how to be a productive member of the society. So do parents go through this knowledge transfer from another institution, learn to become parents, or do they just do it instinctively or do something that their parents did, historical
Oh.
parenting skills?
So there could be a scenario where the whole society is failing in terms of parenting. It could be that. Um, like it could be multidimensional problem. Can you talk about that thing you said, this problem you see like threefold? How you can address this is like
Yes,
threefold you were
so
talking
I see
mentioning.
it as a, like, good children
Mm-hmm.
badly parented, right? Good children parented properly, good parents trying to parent troubled children. So when I talk about troubled children, I'm talking about children who are wired to be antisocial, like biologically,
Biologically
in
wired
their
in a
brain,
dysfunctional way. Yeah.
dysfunctional way, in a destructive way. And then these children can they be transformed?
Yeah.
So then so the three situations I see is, parents need to know how to parent, how to do the best possible job to the children that they have. So whether they are good children or troubled children, they need to know how to do it. Also, they need to know whether there's something wrong with the child. Like, sometimes, like, it's my child, no, it's my child. I love this child. Oh my God, this is my life and all. Still, if the child has a problem, the parents need to be able to realize, okay, we need a different kind of help. So, and and there need to be organizations, like here we talked about these homes, residential care homes. So either that or a different organization, different mechanism. So it can be
Yes.
one thing. A solution can't be one thing. It needs to
Mm.
be much broader. Like, parents should be able to walk into institution and ask, okay, I'm going through this, show me what to do. So that's a one-day training for the parents, or a residential training for a couple that is going to choosing to have children, or a mother that is going to choose to have a children. Like, because I think single single parent families are there in that country, and that's acceptable thing. So it doesn't have to be a couple. And so that's one solution. Second solution, so that is empowering parent side. Second solution, if parent cannot do it, they are not capable, but or child is exposed to other things, like not only the children, but they were exposed to other things. So this is a good child. There need to be places where they can go, stay, go through a transformation with quality systems, like, and these systems need to have some sort of assessment criteria, because KPI, right? The KPIs I would suggest is the the quality of the outcome, like how many number of people came out of this institution is high functioning members of the society, and how many of them are low functioning. Like if there's an institution that is consistently low functioning over a long period of time, maybe that need to shut down, and the knowledge from the high functioning institution needs to be brought in and used as a training material for others, like whatever. The last one is the trouble children. We need to be able to separate good children that went through a bad experience and trouble children separately, because if you put them together, they would look the same, but if you put them together, these trouble children going to cause more harm than good in that setup. So they need to be separated. It cannot be the same institution that cater for them.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So yeah, if I were to, let's say, personally get involved in creating a movement, it would be directly to work with the I would say the better functioning care homes first. That is how I would like to micro level. I would like to start from micro level. If I'm to personally get involved and work with these care home managers, then the staff, and this normal children have had some difficult life experiences, and behaviorally they got affected. So my idea of a project is something like, let's say, a dream project, because all children have dreams, and to identify like normally wired, functional, but children with behavioral issues. So we will select few of them from better functioning care homes, and then work with them one-on-one in group settings, and using diverse range of therapeutic modalities, engagement exercises, experiential treatments, holistic interventions, like whatever that is suitable. So it's an individual assessment, group assessment, and in terms of the care home, like as a unit, there are competencies, available resources. So there will be assessment done at all levels, and then the individual assessment by qualified psychologist, psychiatrist, likewise, and then develop like this individual transformational solution. So the dream project then can be funded by those caring organizations, like private organizations or NGOs or government institutions who believe in this kind of project to a level. This child go through this transformation. We record all the treatments. There is a documentary developed, video, audio recordings done. So it's very transparent. There's legitimacy to it. And so they will be archived. Hopefully someday one can follow those things and learn the model. That's the intention, like to use that data for future research. And so the child go through, or the youth, young adult go through this transformation. Intention is to help them achieve their dream. And it is funded. And also the next level would be, let's say, the youth comes out of the home after treatment, absorbed into the labor market as a business person or a creative person in one way or the other. Now the person is living the dream. Let's say if it was a 15-year-old, and then by 18 the person is out of the system and now able to even do a job or do a business, be an entrepreneur, be a lecturer, whatever it is. We help their dream, and then help them, let's say, a few more years also to accomplish it. Like it's like a long-term solution. So I would like to call it like My Life Matters and My Dream Project, or Dream Project, where this movement, like then later on, initially it can be done by volunteering people, like it's a group of people organizing purely for this purpose, to make it legitimate and to make it like formal. Legitimacy is the key. A meta organization can be created because in this system, I can see that you have the social services, the government or state, and then the care homes, the family system. But we don't hear so much about this meta organization fueling or supporting the institutional arrangement of the care homes. Like, let's say, UN, United Nations, is there to one way or the other regulate the mechanisms of certain business organizations who are meant to do good through their business, but there are dysfunctionalities. So similarly, a meta organization can be created in this ecosystem called care, mental care for troubled youth. So this is the kind of a long-term idea. So once this, let's say within 2 years, 2 to 3 years time, if we can achieve based on scientific data, scientific treatment methods, etc., like based on like super solidly grounded treatments and approaches, scientifically validated, not a haphazard approach. So collecting the buy-in from the academia, then practitioners. So like creating a nice, let's say, like almost like a think tank or a transformational tank. People buy into the idea and come together for this purpose. Of course, leadership is required for this, and to somehow do it for at least for 3 years and see report few cases. So if we can develop a case like this, now this data then can be like one can model this for future. This is the kind of vision I have as a solution for this problem. So once this keep happening, like people who are running this business also know that they don't want to do a good business. They want to do a good business. They know if they do a good business, it's going to get better. Like, let's say people who are not being reported to, like being taken to these care homes, still needing the solution, must be solving it in different ways. So people who run this at the top level know that this problem, if it is solved, it is still going to expand as a big industry and a market and going to be profitable, but it is sustainable. I mean, it's going to create a proper market mechanism. So something like this, starting from the grassroots level, then later on can influence the policy level, where they will be, as you said, like they will be compelled when the market mechanism is so good, when these care homes are like functioning as in a proper competitive market, serving and creating the product that they're supposed to create. After a while, government, like state, has no other way than adjusting the policy in a way that those who are not doing it well, like incompetent managers to staff to businesses will be closed down. Ideally, that is what need to happen in ideal competitive market.
But
So
that is easy to achieve, no?
yeah,
Because now
we need
the reason I asked
we need committed people with the purpose. That's the thing. We need committed,
not really.
genuinely.
What you need is numbers, because you have committed people, like those people, like all those people who went and got jobs in these places. You would find a lot of committed people, a lot of passionate people. So those people are there. They lack two things. But before talking about that, I will talk about the other thing. When I say it's very easy to find, that is, you just bring out these two numbers, number of so antisocial people that left behind in these houses, and number of high productive people. Like you make it visible for last, like, I don't know how they existed, maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years. Moment you make it visible statistically,
Yeah,
like this is no longer hearsay. You know what to eliminate. Everybody knows what to eliminate. Like you
good
just
one.
have to make it visible. You just put the stats out. I think stats are hidden, because that's why, like, if it is so out there, you would have told me. Like what you told me was, it's a big business. You didn't tell me, okay, we have a big problem. 20% of youth that goes in there turns out to be really bad. You didn't tell me that, because that number is hidden. that is what needs to come out.
Yeah.
That number, I don't believe that is not calculated. That is calculated. This is the time of big data. Somebody is calculating that, but it is not published. Even if it is published, it's published in a fine print. Like it's there, like we told you about it, it's there, but it was in the fine print.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
and when it comes to society, when it comes to these kind of forms, I think we need to know the different kinds of things that needs to be handled, and then the exceptions, like children who go through parental or some sort of bad parenting or the abuse relationships. So they develop, I cannot trust, nobody is trustworthy mindset. Children that get into bad friendship, bad, so they don't develop that. That's not what they develop. They develop set of behaviors where they are the sense of truth and sense of good is shiftable. Like it shifts from one to the other very easily. They are not the same problem. They cannot be treated at the same group in the same house. All right, okay, you're my big sister, no, because they are different problems.
Yeah.
And how to treat them need to be mastered. Like it's not like, okay, I'm going to try this, I'm going to do drama therapy for this and see how that. We cannot be at that level. Like if you have 1,000 people who go through a similar thing, we need to have a very structured approach. We don't do this guesswork when we do farming, right? So should I do paddy this year? Like when should I do it? No, like should I just try spreading it? Like no, we have a structured approach. We do it, and when we get results, if we don't do it, we get bad results. So it needs to be very fine-tuned mechanism of this is what you're going through, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going through, this is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So that way, a lot of guesswork is taken out. And that could be the job of the Meta Institute that you talked about, right? Okay, these are the curriculum, these are the skill sets. This is what we measure. Are you a high empath? If you're not a high empath, no, we are not. You may be highly skilled, but we are not interested on you as a social worker in our situation. If you cannot communicate with the age of these children, maybe you should go to the other institution. We are not interested on them. So now we are bringing in a lot of science to this. Secondly, there's this thing about dragons and dragon hunters, right? Like in this is the knights in the ancient Western stories, the knights went out to fight the dragon and save the princess. Right? That is a social story. So when you say, okay, there's this organization that is not doing very well, that's a dragon, and future generation is the princess, and you are the knight. Oh, the group of people you are going to work with is the knight. So knight goes out, kill the dragon, and save the princess. So a lot of the time, people miss out the point. This dragon used to be a knight. With enough time, they evolve into the evil. So there's no perfect solution. This thing that they have right now, this care homes, would have been a perfect solution sometime back because they didn't have anything. So that could have been the knight that went into the battle and saved somebody. But then now they have evolved into the dragon, and whatever that you create would eventually evolve into the dragon. That is just how it is. So
good.
It's never going to be a permanent solution. It will be always a work in progress solution. It will always demand a new hero.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Gangshri. So what we will do is we will take up this conversation. Maybe next time more dialogue. So maybe we can reach out to a few more people and experts, or at least people who are not experts, but people who are genuinely passionate about parenting and creating a better society and believing in children and the future, etc. Maybe I would like to have a continuous dialogue on this next time. At least have a few more people on board. and share our thoughts, right? Thank you so much for your
Right.
thoughts and ideas. Please work on this back of your head while you're doing the rest of the work. Much love and blessings. Jai Shri.